you'd never follow me on Twitter again, I'd be like, well, whatever. I don't give a shit about Twitter.
Well, the thing that grated on me because of his response, when I said I'm not going to follow you anymore, he posted something about wanting to be a dog because Scarlett messed him up, and I said, look, I'm not going to follow you anymore. I'm sick of everything that he was doing, and he compares it to a breakup, and that's what he does. He compares girls to dating, to breakups, to lesbians, to all this stuff, and like the way that he treats women, it bothers me a lot.
I think he needs a sex change. No, I'm serious. Like I've known a couple of transsexuals who act just like him. Like I think he needs a sex change. That's that's just one of the weirdest. I never realized that's a weird statement, but I'm just saying. I maybe he could,
Yeah.
or maybe at the very least he could just sit down and talk to someone the way he treats just a woman he talks down to and insults the way he does, and just asks why does this bother you? What am I doing that is bothering you? Why? What is to help him at least understand why that hurt them? Not even to say change his ways, but at least help him understand when he does this stuff.
I don't know. I know people have talked to him personally and tried to, talk to him about his problems as friends, and it's not gone well. Um, but I will say this, like, okay, with all this drama going on, anyone that's throwing around things about, suicide or harm toward him or anything like that. Like I don't wish that on him. I don't think people should go so far like that. Like, people are being extreme or anything like that. But I do think he needs to know that it's not cool and people do need to speak up, and he needs to get knocked down a peg.
Just call him out. See, that's kind of why I wish his community would do the same thing my community does, and just call him out on the bullshit. When I fuck up, my community is more than willing to call me out on being a fucking idiot, and you learn from that. But just to sort of go back to this, and I don't seem like a complete fucking moron, or just absolutely completely psychotic. I do want to say that it may come out of left field, but I know a couple of transsexuals who hate women or hated women because they were repressing their own feelings, and they eventually found out through therapy that, hey, maybe I should start taking estrogen, and then they went through that whole thing. So that's kind of why I brought that up. I just don't want to feel I don't want to feel like a complete fucking psycho just saying he needs a sex change.
Well, whatever he wants to do, if that's what he wants to do, if he just wants, I just think he needs to find something that makes him happy, and he needs to be all right with himself, because I think he'll be a lot better with other people.
That might be it.
But that's something that he has to be able to do on his own. People can't solve it for him, and I know people have tried.
I'm getting tired of LordKat. I'm getting tired of people trying to shut Lupa and LordKat up about this. They have every right to talk about it. A guy being a total dick. I thought you were saying you wanted us to shut up. I was like, I would hate to disappoint you here, but I don't know if you know me too well, but I will talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about on the stream. Oh man.
Someone saying he's doing it because of Scarlett. Well, she has the right to be able to break up with someone. Everyone has the right to know who they want to go out with or not, and it hurts, and you're allowed to be hurt when someone breaks up with you, but you can't harass them on the internet. You can't not let them exist. Chad, don't say he hopes he kills himself or anything like that. That's not cool.
I do have to admit, when I was really raging pissed last night, I was saying, not that I hoped he killed himself, but that a lot of the comments he was making and the path he was going down, it did sound like a suicidal person, and that's the other scary part about all this, is that it's mentally a very dangerous minefield for him right now, I think.
No, look, I really hope that he can be better and that this doesn't lead to something worse. I really don't. But I don't think that people should just lay over and be bullied. You know, and I don't think someone has the right to act like that because you think they're going to do something. I mean, I really hope he doesn't. I really hope that this doesn't lead to worse things for him, but I'm not going to just sit back. You know, people say like, why did you get involved when it wasn't a comment directed at you? You know, why don't you just leave it your own business? Well, not everyone is going to speak up when they're the person involved, and why can't you speak up? That's like saying like you have to be quiet and just leave it behind closed doors. You know, and people are asking why Hope hasn't said anything, and respectfully, she doesn't want to be involved, and you know, people should respect her decision not to be involved with it, and that's totally fine.
Well, it's
But I'm not okay with this behavior.
just to sort of answer a question that scrolled by, and I just want to address it really quick. When did the friendship deteriorate? It started really to deteriorate during D&D. That was when we were having our little campaign, and Spoonie came in, yelled at Chris for making fun of bees, and then left. That put a huge strain on my relationship with Chris. Because Chris dropped from the campaign after that, and the campaign fell to shit then. But he did a lot of little things like that, and it was very bothersome.
Yeah, that was. I did hear that, and it was really bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, he came back and he told me, he was like, "I'm sorry, I was just defending you. You know, it seemed like you were having a hard time as a DM," and I was like, "Listen, dude, it's all right, but just, you know,